Hejsan, hejsan. Det kommer nog droppa in lite fler, men vi måste sätta igång för vi har ett jättetajt schema idag. And I will do this in English, simply because we will have mixed presentations and we will be filming this. So, hello and welcome everyone. I am really happy to see that so many of you are here today. It has been, it's really lovely to be able to combine these, the foundation and the Goto 10 Coworking Space. And if you don't know me by now, which I hope that you do, I am Isadora, the project lead for Goto 10. There might be a few of you in here that have not yet said hello to me. Goto 10 also hosts the Goto 10 Coworking Space that we're here to learn about today. And the Coworking Space promotes projects at an early stage that are or will promote the development of the internet or internet usage in Sweden. And a while back, I popped by Goto 10 Coworking Space at one of your self-organized after-work sessions. And we started talking a little bit about the activities happening at the Internet Foundation. And it turned out that you wanted to, meet with a few of us that are actually hanging out up here and get to know a bit more about what we're doing. So when I asked if you wanted to see an event like this, the response was overwhelmingly positive. So the next day, I asked my colleagues at the foundation the same question. Would you like to know more about what's happening at Goto 10 Coworking Space? And of course, which we can see, people were thrilled by the idea. So I'm delighted, really, to be able to wish you a welcome here today to this lunch event. And we have a great number of coworkers who will present their projects. We are currently hosting 17 organizations at Goto 10 Coworking Space. 49 people are sitting down there working on a daily basis. Today we will listen to 11 of these projects. If this works. There. These are the organizations that will be presenting here today. But before we begin, or before I start talking about the program, I need to thank Jenny, who is our magician here, really, that makes all these events flawless and coordinates our co-workers on Goto 10 Coworking Space. So please join me in giving Jenny an applause. So we will start our day with an introduction about the core activities at the Internet Foundation by our CEO, Danny Arts. And we will then move on to our many presentations by our Goto 10 workers and finish off with a lunch and mingle. But before we actually do begin, I need to tend to some housekeeping. It is very, very important that everyone keeps to their allotted time. Every group or person has 5 minutes each. And me and Jenny, we have these signs when you have 3 minutes left and then 1 minute left. And when your time is over, I will cut you if you're not done. Because otherwise, if we let you go on, you will be stealing time from your fellow presenters that will go on afterwards. Presentation language, English or Swedish, this is optional. You make that decision. We will be recording the event today. If you have any problem with that or do want to be blurred afterwards, just come and talk to us. This is also up to you. We want this to be available afterwards. Go to 10 YouTube channel. And if you have any other questions regarding Goto 10, you can come and talk to me or Jenny afterwards. Now, without further wait, let me introduce to you our CEO, Danny Arts.
Now we'll do it in Swedish. Who are the non-Swedes in this room? If you find it difficult to understand my Swedish, being a Dutchman, you're invited for a private meeting with me, 15 minutes in English, afterwards. And I explain what I said then in Swedish. But then again, I think normally it's a good idea for non-Swedes to learn Swedish when you work in Sweden. I was forced to do it. So you have to learn it also. It's a nice opener, isn't it? Okay, my name is Danny Arts. I'm the CEO of the foundation. I have only 14 minutes left. We are a very fascinating foundation. Vi är en fantastiskt spännande stiftelse. Vi är väldigt anonyma. Ingen vet att vi finns. Från början var det ganska medvetet. Att vi tänkte, ja men vi behöver inte sälja. Det sker sig själv. Alla ska ha domännamn och till slut kommer de ändå till oss. Så varför ska vi skrika att vi finns? Och det finns bara .se, så varför ska vi säga att det finns en annan toppdomän om de inte vet det? Och sen tyckte vi också att det är lite farligt att bli för populär och vara för dominant. För vi är en privat stiftelse, vi är väldigt udda. Om man tänker efter. Här sitter vi i våra lokaler här och helt platt kan man säga, vi äger .se. Hur var det möjligt att en privat stiftelse äger .se? Inte en myndighet, inte ett företag, men det är vi. Och det är det konstiga med internet. Det var ännu värre. Den personen som vi har kallat rummet efter, det var han som ägde det själv. Fram till 1997 tills de lade i vår stiftelse. Och vill man djupdyka så säger man, ja men vi äger inte ens .se. Vi bara har den. Och ingen kan ta det ifrån oss. Så det här är en väldigt knäpp historia, men den kan jag berätta lite mer om någon annan gång. Men vem är vi? Vad gör vi? Vi heter då Stiftelse för Internet Infrastruktur, omöjligt namn. Så ibland kallar vi oss IIS, ibland kallar vi oss Internetstiftelse, ibland har vi kallat oss .se. Nu vill vi kalla oss Internetstiftelse framöver, bara så att ni vet om ni inte känner igen oss. Det är vi. Vad gör vi framförallt? Vi ser till att internet fungerar för alla dummisar som inte kan komma ihåg sin IP-adress. Om allt fungerar hos oss så fungerar internet. Om någonting går fel här så slutar internet att fungera. För alla som inte har skrivit ner sina IP-adresser. Så på det sättet är vi väldigt spännande. Så länge det funkar är vi väldigt okänt. Skulle det sluta fungera så blir vi väldigt kända. Då kommer jag säkert på TV om det slutar fungera. Så det viktiga är att se till att det fungerar varje dag här. Och det har det fungerat. Det har gjort så. Förutom Rickard, kan ni komma ihåg?
Ja, när var det då?
2009.
2009.
Då hade vi ett problem under 20 minuter. Det var som tur var det sent på kvällen. Så, det började inte märkas. Och vi var några minuter var vi första nyheter på Aftonbladet. Och sen kom det en stor artikel om att någon hade kokat katter. Och då försvann vi från första sidan. Och det var det enda gången som vi var riktigt populärt de senaste 10 åren. Men vi hade ett väldigt, väldigt viktigt uppdrag här. Och hälften av vår organisation jobbar enbart med att se till att det fungerar. Och det är ett trädjobb. Dag efter dag, år efter år, att se till att det fungerar. För det måste vara 100%. Det är det viktigaste. Och för varje domännamn frågar vi en liten avgift till alla. Det är någon som vet vad vi tar betalt för Telia.se. 100 spänn per år. Jag får många klagomål att företag ringer mig och säger, kan ni inte ta 10 000 per år? Varför då? Ja, men vi fattar inte att en faktura på 100 spänn per år är så viktig. Och den kan komma bort. Och då betalar man inte. Och sen försvinner det. Det blir borta. Och det händer varje månad. Stora sjukhus, börsnoterade bolag, regeringen.se. Verkligen, det händer. Vi måste ringa dem. Du, kan vara bra om vi betalar 100 spänn, så försvinner den. Fredrikreinfeldt.se försvann. Glömde att betala den. Men vi har ungefär 2 miljoner domäner, alla betalar 100 spänn. Ganska enkelt att räkna för. Vi får ungefär 200 miljoner kronor intäkter. Bara domänen. Vi behöver ungefär 100 miljoner för att se till att allt fungerar. Vi har ungefär 100 miljoner över. Det är bra business. Vad skulle hända om vi höjer pris till 150? Får man 150? Får man 50 miljoner mer i vinst. Och därför är vi en stiftelse. Därför är vi inte ett företag. Det är inte meningen att vi ska ha fejta BMW här. Stiftelsens ändamål säger att vi ska främja internetutveckling i Sverige. Så om vi gör ett bra jobb med .se så har vi mer pengar över för att göra någonting vettigt med det. Och uppdraget som man har gett oss är att främja internetutveckling i Sverige. Och därför gör vi en hel del aktiviteter som vi anser främja internetutveckling i Sverige. Och en av de sakerna är aktiviteter inom utbildning. Digitala lektioner.se, internetkunskap.se. Vi producerar guider, vi producerar fakta genom statistik. Vi har också en del som är mer innovationer. Där måste du tänka på mötesplatser, internetdagarna, stor konferens, Goto 10. Också ett sätt att stimulera innovation. Det finns även en del som kanske inte är så känd, men vi investerar också i unga svenska bolag. Där tittar vi på bolag som har färdiga produkter. Vi måste ha kommit en bit på väg, så kom inte till oss om det bara har en affärsidé. Det är för tidigt. Du ska ha en färdig produkt eller tjänst. Du kan visa upp dina första målgrupper och kunder. Det ska vara ett svenskt bolag. Vi investerar max 10% i bolaget. Vi är en så kallad dum minoritetsägare då. Så vi lägger oss inte i vad du tänkte göra. Men vi försöker bara hjälpa dig som en katalysator så att du inte behöver stå med mössan i hand för tidigt hos en investerare som tar en för stor del av ditt bolag. Sen om det går bra för dig så kan du köpa tillbaka aktierna också. Så vi försöker vara en katalysator, försöker hjälpa till. Förutom domänen så gör vi en hel del andra saker. Och de tjänster som vi levererar, där försöker vi vara unika på. Så att vi inte konkurrerar ut andra med våra pengar. Det är också en sån sak. Vi har en viss roll i marknaden så att vi inte stör konkurrens. Det kanske inte är så känt, men vi är den enda organisation i världen som testar om någon annan får driva en toppdomän. Så när Google ville ha .google, då blev de testade av oss. Och de var inte så bra. Eller hur, Mats?
Jag kommer inte ihåg. Jag har testat ut.
Jo, de fick 2 gånger förlängning för att skärpa sig innan de gick igenom. Jag fick min hemlis här också idag. Men vi är då den organisation som hjälper ICANN i Amerika att testa om någon annan får driva en toppdomän. Det finns faktiskt väldigt många toppdomäner. 1200-1300. Så .se är inte unik. Vi kan välja vad som helst nästan. Sen driver vi också en annan aktivitet som är identitetsfederationer. Den är enkelt i sig och väldigt komplex att berätta. Så titta på skolfederation.se om ni vill lära er lite mer. Men vi gör då en hel del aktiviteter där vi säger att federation är en kombination av främjande men också någonting som vi tror att vi kan tjäna pengar på. Och hela filosofin är att vi har egentligen 2 ben. Den ena benen handlar om att leverera unika tjänster som är populära med god kvalitet som alla vill köpa. Så att vi tjänar pengar så att vi därefter kan använda de pengarna för att främja internetutveckling i Sverige. Och ju mer pengar vi får, ju mer aktiviteter som vi kan bedriva. Men det går hela tiden ut och efter, vad tror vi att vi kan ha en nytta för att driva internetutveckling framåt? Och Goto 10 är en väldigt fin exempel. Vi såg en lucka här. De flesta mötesplatser är väldigt fokuserat, väldigt stängt, ibland så säger jag väldigt mycket är byggda för unga pojkar med ljust hår som vill bli väldigt snabbt rik på en app. Och det ville vi inte. Och det är därför som vi började titta på vilken typ av inkubator, vilken typ av katalysator vill vi ha och för vem. Och det blev Goto 10. Och när vi satte igång förra året så hade vi som ambition att vi skulle ha 500 medlemmar. Vid årsskiftet hade vi nästan 5000. Så det finns en enorm sug efter mötesplatser. Samma sak med Coworking Space. Den blev också väldigt snabbt full. Men jag är färdig, jag behöver inte mina 3 minuter så jag är helt okej. Jag väntade bara att det skulle komma upp så jag har faktiskt tid kvar för en fråga. Yes.
Hur mycket brukar ni investera i bolag?
Om vi gör så, om det blir fel om att.
Min fråga är hur mycket pengar brukar ni investera i bolag när ni köper 10%?
Det finns en begränsning att vi max får investera 2 miljoner. Så vi har 2 begränsningar. Vi får max 10% ägande. Vi får max investera 2 miljoner kronor. Och då kan vi relativt lätt räkna fram vad värderingen ligger på. Så de bolag som vi investerat i, den ligger kanske mellan 10, 15 till 30 miljoner i värdering. Fler frågor? Yes.
Ja, om du har tid.
Ja, jag har tid tills kulten säger jag inte har.
Håller nära. Vilken positiv utveckling skulle du vilja lyfta fram på det senaste som ni har bidragit till?
Det som hände i juni till exempel, ganska nyligen. Då fick vi 10 miljoner kronor från näringsdepartementet för att vi hade startat ett koncept i Motala kommun med någonting som heter Digidelcenter. Vi har drivit på digital delaktighet länge och när vi gjorde en stor kampanj som heter Digidel 2013 så kunde vi se att vissa typer av samarbete gick väldigt bra. Så vi ville testa det mer och vi frågade olika kommuner om de ville starta en Digidelcenter som vi betalade själv som stiftelse. Sen blev det så pass bra att regeringen då sa att vi tror på konceptet. Här stiftelse får de 10 miljoner för att starta flera Digidelcenter. Det som är exempel av någonting som hänt. Det som hände den här veckan, eller igår tror jag. Då såg ni att Peppy Pals, ett företag, fick en ny investerare. Lego investerade i Peppy Pals. Vet inte om ni såg det?
Jo.
Ja, men Peppy Pals var ett företag som vi investerade i för ett år sedan. Och kanske genom vår investering blev de så pass spännande och sexy för Lego att de vågade investera i dem. Och vi sålde våra aktier till Lego. Jag får inte säga hur mycket det blir.
Nej. Tack. Something I forgot to mention earlier, during all these 11 presentations, if you have questions, which we do encourage, of course, we'd love you to hold on to them for the lunch and mingle session, so that you can talk to everyone who presented, and you can talk to everyone else who works here at the foundation as well. So let us introduce our first speaker, Carl Bergstad, for Kids Hack Day at Fab Lab Factory, Sweden.
I will hold it close. Is this clear? Great. Hello, everyone. I'm also here every Monday helping out with 3D printing. If you want to try it out, you can just contact me. Great. So, Kids Hack Day is a non-profit that organizes creative tech events for kids and families, mostly during Saturdays and Sundays. Focusing on digital fabrication. So I'll just quite briefly, Kids Hack was born about 5 years ago. We had the first event here in Stockholm. And since then we've had about 30 events on 5 different continents. This is from Morocco, this is from Bogota. This is the first event in Stockholm, this is from Nottingham, Sydney. And some events we participated in, so the local organizer had budget to fly me in or someone else. But a lot of times, or most of the times, they were acting locally funded and acting on their own. So they just borrowed our sort of template to do a Kids Hack Day event. We also run an after-school program. Now this is based in Fisksätra. Fab Lab Factory is actually based in Belgium. It's from Arp de Mer, close to Brussels, and they build makerspaces. So they have they resell machines, but they also do service, and they also do. Does that mean 3 minutes left, or that I? Okay, left. And they also do. Train the trainer boot camps. So we partnered up with them to become the local partner in Sweden for their services, not selling products, but for the services. And this was our first event, 2nd of May, out in Fisksätra. And we are now starting a company, local company, a legal entity for this, which we need, called Folk Lab. So it's a play with words from Folk Bibliotek and Mobile Lab. This company will be owned by a constellation of non-profits and is set up on this house. And maybe some other.
It's a makerspace and it focuses on digital fabrication. And when we talk about digital fabrication, there is a common set of equipment that you need for that.
This is a laser cutter, and it can cut through materials. It can cut through wood, plastic, fabric, for example. Then there is the vinyl cutter, and then there is a 3D printer. And then we have a sewing machine, which you probably know how it works.
This pop-up,
another clip.
Fab Lab, it's the start of an intention of wanting to build Fab Lab here, and we're going to build our own mobile truck so we can go around to other places and create this kind of pop-up experience.
You can also play Tetris on the car.
This
Audience
is starting for more.
So they work at Folkets Hus.
Yeah, I have like 10 seconds. Okay. We are funded by Delegation Against Segregation, which is a new delegation. We got 300,000 kroners in pre-study. To build this mobile lab and to possibly do a vocational school, which is a more long-term project around a certain maker pedagogue and different roles. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is electricity with Jörgen Löwenfeld, Jörgen Löv, Rickard Dahlstrand, som vi alla känner.
So hello, my name is Jörgen and I'm here with Rickard, my colleague, and Lana. And we are electricity. Where do I? So some of the graphics have disappeared, I see. Anyway, so this is a presentation that we're usually running for Chinese delegations coming to Hammarby Sjöstad. It should have said there, welcome to Hammarby Sjöstad. And I'm going to tell you what we do. We run a project called Hammarby Sjöstad 2.0. That's our project. We're trying to improve this part of the city, which is one of the most sustainable city development in the world. And in 2010, it was elected the first green capital of Europe. So since then, we've had lots of delegations. The picture up there is Hammarby Sjöstad in the 90s. It used to be a very shady, rundown industrial area. You didn't want to really go here, especially at nighttime. And then they started thinking about how to make this into a city district. And it's a top-down process, of course. And the mayor of Stockholm, he said, I want this place to be twice as good as anything built before when it comes to sustainability. And that's why we have all these delegations. So they sat down, the city planners and property developers and so forth, at a table, trying to figure out how do we build this as sustainable as possible. And they had invented a process called eco-governance. So people started moving in by year 2000. I think that you, Rickard, moved in 2002 or something. I moved in about 10 years ago, and I was not happy with the energy consumption in our housing association. It was pretty high. But I'm very happy about my garbage turning into district heat. You know how it works here, right? You put your garbage in a garbage chute, and then it shoots away at 70 kilometers an hour, and it turns into district heating. And my food waste turns into biogas, so I immediately bought a biogas car. But we were not happy with the energy consumption, so we started a citizen project, or an ex-finance minister called Allan Larsson started about 6 years ago. And that's what we work with now, electricity, a citizen project. It's a citizen-driven, bottom-up process, testing a new process called innovation governance. So this is our project. We're adding smart and sustainable solutions to the mix through electrification and digitalization. And we call it to renew a new city. And we do this in cooperation with the people living here. We have about 12,000 people that we work with closely, and using this as a test bed for smart energy, transportation, and sharing economy. And we're doing this together with companies and academia. This is what we're trying to achieve. You know the Paris deal, 2050? Stockholm has a goal for 2040, and we're turning it into 2030 goal. Sweden has a pretty high climate footprint. It's about 11 tons carbon dioxide per person a year. We can't do too much about these 4 tons. They're public energy consumption, roads, etc. But the 7 ton, that's what we're working on. So we have housing, transportation, food, and some clothing and so forth. We need to take these 7 ton down to 1.5 ton, if it's going to work. Tough course. But we're doing this with KTH, and they're trying to figure out what we should do. So we're working on that on a daily basis. This is one of our initiatives, Energy at Home. It's a testbed for energy, and we're having about 40 consumption and housing associations involved in this. Okay, I'll have to quickly go. This is a guy helping us with that. This is a great invention, an energy manager. In every housing association, we have somebody to deal with. And this guy has lowered his energy cost in his house by 1 million crowns through our initiatives. And there's a lot of people following him. Another initiative, whoops, it's supposed to say, why buy an electric car if I can't drive it? And that's another initiative. We have now a test bed for chargers in our garage, and this is what it looks like. We have about 350 charging stations, and the target is 1,000. We're also running a test bed for IoT, and as an urban living lab with KTH, trying to figure out the energy system of tomorrow, and then also as an export platform. And this is now Xi Jinping, who was here in 2010. And these are our members, and they're usually using us as a test bed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up we have Wikimedia Sverige, Axel Pettersson.
Thank you. We are not a company. I complained earlier that it was only called companies downstairs, but we're a non-profit organization. We are not running Wikipedia. We're a Swedish chapter doing fun things around Wikipedia. I think most of the graphics is from this also. But the text is there. Wikipedia started in 2001 and is 17 and a half years old by now. We started in 2007 as a chapter doing fun things. Wikimedia Foundation in the US runs Wikipedia, runs the servers and everything like that. We have an agreement with them where we can do education for GLAM's museums and archives in Sweden. We talk to teachers, we help them with source criticism and questions like that. We help them move from not use Wikipedia at all to, okay, use Wikipedia, but think of this and that, to pass this university class you need to edit Wikipedia, which is kind of an improvement for going from not at all to edit Wikipedia. We have about 450 members in Wikimedia Sweden. We are 7 employees, 6 sitting here and 1 in Gothenburg. And there are about 40 chapters like ours around in the world. As I said, we do not edit Wikipedia or do things like that while here at the office. We're not the editorial board deciding who can edit, what articles should be on Wikipedia. Volunteers do all that, so we are not deciding that the article about your company could be an article on Wikipedia. We are not the organization deleting that article, so please don't come to us and complain that someone took away your article or put back some things that you do not want in the article, because we are not responsible for that. Most of us working here do on our spare time edit Wikipedia, so we are doing things like that also, but not while working. So you can come to us and complain about it, and you can come to us and ask questions like, why is this happening, and why is the article about my company being deleted every time I try to write something about us. What we also do is support the volunteer community. We have a pool of technology, we have good cameras and things like that. That we lend to people. We help with the photo accreditation, so if someone wants to go to a concert to take good pictures, or a sport event, or the Nobel Prize press conference or something like that, we can help with getting accreditation for being in the photo pool and taking better photos. We are also supporting volunteers to be at the Bokmässan in Gothenburg, so they can talk about Wikipedia there to authors and to people visiting the book fair. things like that. We run big projects with support from Post- och telestyrelsen, for instance. We've built a speech synthesis program that will help read out Wikipedia articles in a better way than can be done today. We are doing a project with support from Postkodlotteriet, Postkodstiftelsen, where we are getting GLAM organizations, museums and archives to contribute with data from their collections, both images and media files, but also data about the collections. We do some consultancy work where we help museums and archives upload images. We do courses where we teach people how to edit Wikipedia and how they can contribute with material also. And that is the main theme about, or main thing about Wikipedia, that we should gather the knowledge and help spread it to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up we have Assistansboken, Emanuel Nyberg.
Tack så mycket. All right. Det här är enda sliden jag har. Det är bara 5 minuter. Och jag kör på svenska, jag hoppas det är okej för alla öva här, precis som Danny sa här i början. Och jag tänkte börja med att följa upp det du sa där om att ni vill skapa en hub här som andra inte riktar sig mot. Vi startade upp för några år sedan och vi kommer från vård och omsorg och vi var 2 personliga assistenter. Och vi var tvungna att söka oss till Västerås för att hitta eller få komma in på en inkubator eller liknande, för vi liksom ansågs inte kunna bidra på det sätt som de ville se. Alltså de ville se nästa Spotify eller Klarna. Och det fanns liksom en innovationshöjd eller pengar att tjäna helt enkelt, för att vi verkar liksom inom en begränsad bransch. Så vi är otroligt tacksamma för Goto 10 och jag ska sprida ordet inom vård och omsorg. Assistansboken, vi är då ett bolag som egentligen gör fler saker. Vi råkade döpa vårt företag efter en produkt, gör aldrig det. Vi har tagit fram fler produkter nu. Men vi skapar tjänster, digitala tjänster mot vård och omsorg. Framförallt hemsjukvård kan man säga, assistans, hemtjänst, äldreomsorg och så vidare. Assistansboken är ett schemaläggning och tidsredovisningssystem. Det är faktiskt ett av Sveriges mest komplexa system. Vi är ett försystem till lönesystem. Så vi hanterar på 1000 personers löner via vårt system. Vi har även ett försystem för fakturering till Försäkringskassan och kommun och landsting och så vidare. Det är nämligen så att man fakturerar timmar till olika typer av myndigheter. Och det hjälper vi då privata bolag och offentlig sektor att göra mycket snabbare än vad de kan göra i Excel till exempel då. Och nummer 2 är kunskapsboken.se som är e-learning, webbutbildningar. Vi tycker själva att egentligen är det inte så himla innovativt på det sätt vi gör, men inom vård och omsorg så ligger vi 10 år efter. Så att det känns som att våra branschkollegor sitter med plattformar från 2005 eller något liknande. Och nu kommer jag till det som är vår sista produkt egentligen, som jag tycker är mest spännande just nu. Och jag brukar beskriva det som egentligen internet.0 inom administration. Och det är en robot där som vi sitter och utvecklar just nu. Och om vi tittar då på assistansboken.se som är ett administrationssystem som befinner sig i en miljö där vi samverkar med lönesystem, bokföringssystem och så vidare. Och idag så krävs det människor som sitter emellan här och gör olika typer av processer. Men tack vare robotar så sitter vi nu med bolag och egentligen tar bort det här behovet, vilket skapar förutsättningar att våra skattepengar faktiskt går till den verksamhet vi vill. Liksom. Och det handlar alltså om att själva utförandet av de här insatserna istället för att de ska sitta med massa administration. Det här kommer gå in i alla branscher. Vi känner att vi är något tidigare, men det är otroligt kul. Så, jag hoppas jag höll 5 minuter. Tack för mig!
Tack. Thank you. Next up we have our in-house partner from Food Cafe, Lena Mitchell. Sorry.
Tack. Kanske kan prata svenska. Sarah från Sverige kan förstå mig, så ni kan också. Jag jobbar med Food Café. Vi är en litet företag. Vi började i Malmö 6 år sedan. Och vi har evenemang för software developers. Så vi har många evenemang. Vi har 1800 evenemang. Så många, och 100 här i Stockholm. Så jag jobbar med Jenny och Isadora mycket. Och ja, vi vill ha gratis evenemang för developers. Var de kan dela deras kunskap och bli bättre på den jobb. Ja, så vi också har program för barn var vi undervisar dem hur till kod och vi jobbar med frivilliga ja, till lära, till undervisa information. Och vi också har en kurs i Malmö för invandrare. Vad de lär hur till kod och förhoppningsvis efter 6 månader de kan hitta ett jobb. Ja, så jag hoppas att mer människor från Internetstiftelsen kan komma till våra evenemang. Därför vi har många och vi är bara under ni. Så du går past dörren varje kväll och jag är innanför. Så kanske ni kan komma in en dag. Och om du vill dela din kunskap, jag skulle bli jätteglad om du kan prata på en evenemang med oss. Vi behöver mer frivilliga till prata. Så. Tack!
Så imponerande, Lena. Det var riktigt bra talat. Fantastiskt. Nästa upp är Source Kid, Claudio Calderoni.
Here. Oh. Okay. Thank you for being here. I mean it. How many times you used to hear this sentence? Thank you for being here. It actually encapsulates all SourceKit is about. Thank is gratitude, which is a feeling, and here is a place. Feeling and place are our core business. I am an architect, and when I became a father, I realized that education under the constant storm of innovation may find its anchor in architecture. So instead of making people feel the place by designing buildings, I decided to found SourceKit and make children feel the place. So what is SourceKit? If you are a parent or a teacher interested to cultivate children's soft skills, with our iOS app and a workshop, we provide architecture education. Because architecture is the art to connect with the environment. And architecture makes tangible the intangibles. So the soft skills, creativity, initiative, social competence. We do use internet and technology massively. But SourceKit is not about coding, is not assembling robots or virtual reality. And it is much more than learning by doing. It is learning by designing. Now, look at, you don't see that very much because these windows are facing south, so it happens a lot with the sound, with this kind of windows. But you already see the sheer difference between the bright reveals of these windows here against the dark surface of this wall, and the grading and the shading light on the floor, on the ceiling, up to the uniform illumination of that wall. We transform such things in an adventure for the children, so they can play with this and then sketch and then use their sketches to prototype and actually have an impact in their environment, in their playground, in their toys. Is this one? What is? Okay. What? Yes. Okay. So internet extends our sense of possibility and action. It's what we call affordances, and makes our lives much easier. But at the price of abstraction. So SourceKit adds a body and a place to the digital world. So we can feel the place where we have a seat, where you have a seat, and you there, and you back there, close to the exit and ready to escape. The thing is that this apparently casual choice of the chair tells a lot of our expectations, habits, shared intentions. So I take this occasion to tell you that if you believe it is worth to provide a deeper sense of belonging and a wider spectrum of action for the generation of leaders to come, now it is the time to take an action. So please support our word, our activities in any way you believe it is possible from your side. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Next up now is Digilek via Holm. Yes.
Yes. Jag heter Bia, ska berätta kort om Digilek. Det är en del bilder, hoppas jag. Varje startup bygger på en hypotes som man hela tiden måste testa mot verkligheten. Och det här är våran. Att barn och ungas digitala passiva konsumtion är en del av en större samhällsutmaning. Och varför då? Vi låter några kända talare berätta om det. Det här är Linda Lucas, hennes kända TED-talk. Där hon bekymrar sig för att vi uppfostrar konsumenter istället för skapare. Barack Obama, som var med och lanserade Our Code i 2013, gav liksom konkreta exempel på hur du kan vända din passiva konsumtion till att bli en skapare i samhället och dess innovation. Edward Snowden, internetdagarna 2016. Kort så uppmuntrade han oss att se över vilka företag vi vill stötta i en sån här utveckling. För de har en stor inverkan på vårt digitala klimat och det ger sociala kostnader. Dagens barn och unga är prosumenter. Det finns en tvåvägskommunikation att ta tillvara på här. Ett medskapande som många andra har gett exempel på. Och det är också invävt i Agenda 2030, till exempel SDG, hållbar produktion och konsumtion. Och barnkonventionen som ska appliceras här i Sverige. Och den samhällsutmaningen som vi ser på Digilek är just en slags samhällsbricka mellan storstad och landsbygd. Valresultatet kanske också är ett symptom på det. Och vi ser jättemånga bra initiativ som kan stärka barn och unga på deras uppkopplade fritid. Men de når inte ut till allmänheten. De har ingen hög kännedom. Och sen ser vi också närsynthet på liksom en urban medelklassfamilj. Medan huvuddelen av brukarna finns liksom i landsbygden och utanför den här bubblan. Så frågan är, hur når vi de barn och unga som inte är teknikintresserade, som inte känner sig som en stark del av Sveriges digitala samhälle? Kanske vi behöver nå dem på ett annat sätt. Och det vi bygger nu då på är en prosumentbyrå och ett mediehus. Med fokus på policyförändringar och en plattform där initiativ, gärna tvärsektionella, kan nå ut med en större genomslagskraft än om de hade haft enskilda fyrverkerier här och där. Våra användare är ju såklart barn och unga, deras vårdnadshavare i skolan. Vi har ett fokus på fritidsverksamheter och på arbetsträning i skolan också då. Och köpare är ju offentliga sektorn, privata sektorn, idéburna sektorn med bra initiativ. Där vi kan liksom förstärka dem. Ett exempel kan vara Scoutview. Det är Sveriges Scout och Google som har gått tillsammans och skapat en produkt där man kan se scoutspåren i motsvarande Google View då. Det finns andra initiativ. Sveriges annonsörer jobbar väldigt mycket med reklam för barn. De är snabba på bollen. Vi har Generation Pep. Vårt initiativ med Telia. Digital Reliance som jag vet att IS stöttar, och såklart Digidel-nätverket som gör mycket aktivitet ute i landet. Biblioteken. Så förhoppningsvis kommer barnen till biblioteken. Vi håller nu på att bygga en MVP där vi ska testa den här hypotesen. Och vi har samlat några initiativtagare från privata, offentliga och idéburna sektorn. Och vi använder också en social teknik som heter ULab som utvecklas på MIT. Och teamet just nu består av mig, Sofie. Jag vet inte om du sitter där. Ja, där är du. Och vi håller på att rekrytera en CTO till det här. Och så har vi ett nätverk av aktörer på frilans och pro bono. Ja, jaha.
Då har vi nästa som är på väg upp. Modernera, Tara Slovenberg.
Hej, jag driver Modernera. Vi är ett rekryteringsföretag med fokus på distansarbete. Vi förmedlar jobb som man kan göra på distans eller hemifrån. Här kommer lite information om mig. Vi kan gå vidare. Det här har jag sagt. Här är ett urval av våra hittills genomförda uppdrag. Vi har bland annat hjälpt mindre skolor i mindre kommuner i norra Sverige att rekrytera lärare för distansundervisning som undervisar i bland annat modersmål och moderna språk. Vi har också utfört uppdrag i IT-branschen där vi har rekryterat utvecklare som jobbar hemifrån och kan samarbeta med företag som finns på andra orter än där de finns. Vi har också hjälpt företag att rekrytera säljare och mötesbokare som kan sitta var som helst i världen. Och det finns många fördelar med distansarbete. Man får bättre underlag för rekrytering. Det finns väldigt många fler personer som man kan hitta om man låter dem jobba hemifrån och inte finnas på exakt samma ställe där ni finns. Det är flexibelt, det är billigare, man kan få tag på mer kvalificerad personal. Och här är mina kontaktuppgifter, så om ni behöver rekrytera, det är bara kontakta. kontakta mig. Du är klar.
Tack. We're on track. Snowflake Education, Jon-Erik Dahlin.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for this opportunity to share and to listen to all the presenters. It's a really great initiative. Thank you. So I'm Jon-Erik Dahlin from Snowflake Education. And this is our team. Actually, I think this presentation is upside down. So I go to the beginning. Okay, it's just I go from there. None of the slides are there. So Snowflake Education, we help teachers and university faculty with integrating sustainable development into courses and education programs. There are a range of good incentives for them to do this, for wanting to do this, and it is actually difficult. So we have developed a framework for how to integrate sustainability issues into courses and programs. And we work with a concept that is called blended learning that we believe very strongly in. So we want to use the physical classroom for the things that the physical classroom is best for. And we want to use digital learning for the things that digital learning is best for. So we have developed a digital platform, and at the digital platform we have developed and collected a lot of material that we distribute to teacher and faculty members in our network. And we also develop teaching material that are used in the physical classroom, and we work with educational board games. So we also work with gamification. So we have developed a couple of board games, and we are collecting board games from that we find around the world, other teachers that have developed this, and we connect the teaching material for board game seminars with our digital platform. So we have preparatory assignments, we have a range of video online lectures, and we have other material that teachers and faculty members can include for their students. So yes, this was our team. This is our team. So we are 5 people now sitting at Goto. So you recognize us. And let's see, it's exciting to see what's more in here. Oh yeah, the customers that we work with as of now. It's a range of universities and schools, as you can see. We work a lot with, for example, KTH and Chalmers in Sweden. And but we also have customers around the world. And yeah, that's a screenshot from the digital platform, and you can see up there some of the learning packages that we have developed. So in each of these learning packages there are material that faculty members and teachers can add to their classes. And there are a couple of examples of board games that we have for the classroom sessions. So yeah, thank you.
Next up, we have privacy, but I believe Karen will not be doing the presentation today, so somebody else will. So I do not know who exactly. Maybe you can introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone. It looks like both of us. I don't know what presentation we have, but I'm a legal officer at Privacy. Privacy, as you can understand from its name, helps the companies at any size to comply with their privacy requirements. I'm sure you heard of GDPR, but when I talk about privacy, it's not only GDPR. It's a set of rules and regulations that allow you, if you're a company that is driven by data, it's something that allows you to build
a trust-based relationship with your customers and gives you access to their data. On the other hand, it is a legal requirement that you need to comply. If you're a big company, you probably have a lot of resources. You can have a compliance team, a big legal team, you can hire lawyers, law firms. But if you're a small team, a startup, an individual, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're a small company, if you're a startup, if you're a single person, a sole trader, it might be intimidating because these type of compliance projects can get out of hand. It can be very costly. It can take a long time. You can't even predict. So what privacy is offering is affordable solutions. So because everyone who wants to continue to the future, any business needs to be aware of privacy. So these are the services we offer, which Liana will maybe introduce.
Thank you. So we start from the left. So we offer learning, of course, just to explain people and also companies what personal data is. So we have in-class trainings. It's 3 days courses, which are university accredited now, and you can take also exam after that and become CPP, which stands for Certified Privacy Professional, right? Sorry, practitioner. And then we have online training as well, just to get the main idea what privacy is and what personal data is and how to be compliant, how to be GDPR compliant. Because just to translate what Shabnam mentioned, like from the legal language, it's now getting more and more important to comply with GDPR, because we're not talking only about the fines and penalties, but it can be it can lead also to closing the companies, right?
Yeah, it can limit how
the limit also like the business and also think about reputation, right? Then for startups we have GDPR toolkit. It contains all like templates that you need, different privacy policies, internal and external, and also right now we just focusing on these 2 products, and there's going to be a new one which is called the digital DPO. So we can provide privacy support and also deal with the requests that you're getting, and also to work with breaches. And that was it. Just wanted to add that we have Wiki Privacy, where everyone who is interested in privacy can share ideas and just read more. And it's free to join until end of this year, so you can just have a look and maybe it's interesting for you. And also for everyone who is here, we have 15% discount till the end of this year for all services that we have here. Yeah, that's it.
And last but of course not least, we have Stateless Digital, and I believe Gustav Doffnes was supposed to be presenting, but his colleague will be doing it instead. I'll let you introduce yourself. Oh, there he was too.
Perfect. So first of all, my name is Eric Osterman. I'm one of the co-founders of Stateless Digital. And first of all, thank you very much to Goto 10, to Internetstiftelsen. You've been very good at the first stage of our company. We were formed in the beginning of last year. And this opportunity has been very good for us to have some place to operate from. Now Stateless is, okay, there we go. So we're a digital product agency. The name Stateless, it can have many meanings. One comes from programming, where a function that is stateless is very fast, very easy to troubleshoot and so on. So of course we work with programming, building different kinds of web solutions, web applications, and so on. Stateless is also a web server concept, you can say. A server that is stateless is very easy to replace if you have a problem. And stateless is of course also a concept if you don't belong to any specific country and you're wandering the earth. And me and my two other founders, we actually met while working in China a couple of years ago. So we speak Chinese, and we like to help companies who have global aspirations. And our services are divided into consulting, where we help companies with different web solutions, marketing solutions, and so on. But we also have our venture part of the company, where we try to launch our own services, digital services, on our own or together with external partners and entrepreneurs. Just short about consulting is that you can say that our core service is something like a CTO as a service, or a CMO as a service. So we like to help the companies we work with taking the right decisions and then implementing them. I'm going to hand over to Gustav, who's running one of our recent ventures.
Hello, everybody.
F5 eller? Holy smokes. Okay, clicking through here.
I can click, you can talk.
It's fine. I can't talk without click. Okay, whatever, you can do it. 大家好，我叫 Gustav. That means, hello everybody, my name is Gustav, and like Eric said, I am working with one of our two ventures, which is called Digilek. Sorry, Digitalking, of course. That was a joke. Next slide. So, just to give you a little brief history about how we came up with this idea, we had a consultancy project about a year ago with a company called Goto Talk. Click. We were helping them to establish in Stockholm, and we were doing a lot of analog work, not digital. We were buying leads for them and trying that through these platforms, and we soon found a really big problem. Click. All these services are very generic. They have long lead times, which means that it takes a long time before someone contacts you and you can come out. So basically they are pretty bad, all these services, and helping Goto Talk, we formulated kind of a problem around the roofing market. Okay. Problem is, the roofing market is slow, analog, fragmented, and carries low trustworthiness. That can't continue with the current solar revolution. So currently everything related to roofing is a vertical within carpenting, and everything there is very slow. If you've been working with carpenters, you know that. And solving that problem, we came up with our own solution. This is our platform. It's called Digitalk. You type in your address, and we use a Google Map API to mark out the roof. We calculate the area of your roof, and you answer a few questions, and with the help of our pricing engine built with the roofers, we give you a price estimation in less than 30 seconds. Achievements so far: we have built the solution based on real insights. We have done interviews with roofers and customers. We have validated the problem through both ends on the marketplace and externally. We have built a solution with the WordPress front end and React and Node in the back end for the web app. We have signed 5 roofers / solar installers, and we have texted and experimented with CPC marketing campaigns, which led to 40 leads. So we're a little bit on our way. This is our team. As you see, we're very diversified. And you might recognize some of the usual suspects. It's me, Eric, and Oscar, but also Vikram, his background in finance from SEB, and leading this at the current situation. And I didn't know how much time I had, but I thought I would give a few tips along the way, which we found out to aspiring entrepreneurs. Don't focus on the solution, focus on defining a tight problem. Don't attack a big market, focus on a very small niche market. Don't do too much at the same time. Focus on time or effort. Yeah, I like reading a lot of books, and if you read 5 books at the same time, you will move forward pretty slowly. So focus on one book or one company. Find an accountability body, someone that won't only support you but also give honest truth about how you are doing and performing. And a few reading tips. 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, great book, and Running Lean, Ash Moriah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sorry for not introducing you properly when you came up here. So we've been amazingly on track. I'm really impressed with how with what a flow we've had, and apologies for any missing animations in your presentations, things that always happen with technical things, right? Because we're so much on track, we have a few extra minutes, so I'd like to invite all the presenters up on stage, so maybe we could have some questions from the audience if you would like to. Of course, this is optional. And then we can take a few, let's say, 5-10 minutes to take questions from the audience. All right. Any questions?
So I don't know whether you know me or not, but I am the Chief Information Security Officer of the foundation. And I like all these ideas are absolutely thrilling. But I know you're all coping with, and privacy you don't know that, but with services on the internet. And I was thinking, how early are you involving information security in your development process?
Unfair question.
Who?
Privacy was the answer.
Privacy?
No, I just want to add and privacy. Information security and
Same.
Same.
Different thing.
Probably too late is like the general answer, I guess. But we as web developers, it's usually for small startups and our clients always a question about prioritization, priorities. But if you take us, for example, we work a lot with WordPress solutions, and it's one of the most popular web platforms, but it's also one of the most hacked ones. So there's a constant ongoing struggle just to raise the security of these platforms. Now, I guess what you work with is much larger than that. For example, how you handle company personal data within companies and so on. And maybe someone else has some interesting answer.
Any other?
Since we are working with a lot of student data and student results, that's definitely private information. So for us, it has been very important to do this early on. I'd just like to add that the GDPR process has been very good for us to actually talk with our customers about this as well. Because oftentimes you have to inform your customers about the importance of doing this properly as well.
Any other takers?
It's a question to all of you. So maybe, do you have some good tips or tricks or good ideas for the foundation? Things you said, they should have done this. Criticism, things we should look at, business ideas, how we should develop the internet in Sweden, how we should improve.
Okay, I think, well, a lot of you know that I'm very passionate about digital fabrication and the maker movement. And I think And I know it's a little bit in the periphery of your core organization, or core what you do. But I think it will become more and more relevant as a democratic thing to have access to digital tools that can actually produce physical stuff also. And I encourage you to look into how that is playing out globally also, with the Fab Lab movement, and sharing digital designs for local production and that kind of stuff. Yes, thanks.
So Carl already said everything I wanted to say. But yes, I think Internetstiftelsen could be more aligned with the maker movement, because there's a lot of tendencies, and because internet is also like an artifact. An artifact is a part of culture. So to understand internet, we need to understand cultures. And for Digilek, it's consumer cultures. But yeah, it might be too far off now, but it's something probably with education and all your initiatives there will find its way into these cultures. Because this is how people think.
Great, thank you. Any other? Yeah.
You should lower the rent for coworkers.
To what? A shower. Yeah, shower.
Well, internet is culture, like you said, and like I said in a presentation here in Swedish, we don't have that many innovations here in Sweden within healthcare. And why is that? It's because they don't know how, where to go to. They are in an environment, public sector, etc., that they are not really, pushing each other to move forward. So, and I believe there are more sectors actually, except healthcare also. So, the finance sector don't have a problem with this at all, but somehow, I don't know, try to, also communicate to other sectors that are, way behind.
Thank you. Any other ideas?
Actually, one idea could be that when you're building this community in Goto 10, you could have maybe some people from Internetstiftelsen to join in more active coaching of these companies, or at least just some kind of short sessions where you discuss, okay, could we learn from what you're doing here on level 5, and could find more synergies. So more, perhaps just meetings.
Thank you. These are all great recommendations, I think, that we can take with us. And this is just a start, right, today, of having this meeting where we actually get to meet each other. We only had our CEO, Danny, present today because time. But I would love to make more activities in the future where you also get to learn more about the actual initiatives and different people working here at the foundation. And I invite you all at the foundation to join our co-working breakfasts once a month downstairs on 2nd floor. Just come and meet and have a chat and get to know what's going on down there. Is there anything else you would like to add to this day before we end this session?
I say the same thing as you, because I go to Impact Hub or I go to Sting. I've been to that test drive, and I would like to see it in-house here with our values at Goto 10, and but I know you're working hard.
We can always do better. Always.
Thank you very much for being.
Thank you. All right, one last thing.
On Sunday and Monday, 7th and 8th of October, we have this super cool truck out in Pisatra, and we have open house. So if you want to come, Sunday it's 11 to 4, and Monday it's 10 to 2. And it's everything on folklab.nu. You can find it. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Impressed by your engagement in this and joining us all today. So now enjoy lunch. It will be served in just a few minutes out there, and have a chat. Thank you.